So we'll get our workers there. No! What did you die from? Lack of treatment. Sorry, I have 2 medical posts. I can't justify a 3rd. It's madness. Lack of treatment. Since people keep dying, I'm gonna go with ceremonial funerals that make the loss of hope drop. It's not ideal, but there we go. So now there's gonna be a ceremonial procession for funerals. Let's get to work. We can't let up now. We're doing fine, all things considered. Yes, this is what fine looks like. Lack of treatment. Are they all people here? Where is really, really cold? You are cold. That's it. Okay. And we are now out of coal options. That is dangerous. You, I need you to work 24 hours. Oh, you guys. Work. You think you don't have a road? You do not have a road. That would be why you think you have no road. Let's see, we have 17 kids that aren't working and 10 engineers. Child's plea. Captain, we found a boy frozen to the bone in the cemetery next to a fresh grave. He must have been there for hours. He wants you to call an emergency meeting. He says that if you agree, his mother will wake up to attend it. He must face his loss. Hope will fall slightly. Sometimes there's nothing you can do and you're just losing hope. How long until I can run that again? Let's actually just build another workshop. So we can get our tech going a bit faster. There is diminishing returns on workshops. So if we go to not workforce, workshops, I don't know where it is. So when you build a workshop, the first one gives 100% research. The next one gives, I think, 130% research. So it just adds 30% to your research rate, and the next one adds 20% to 150, and the fourth one adds 10% to 160% research speed. So it's good to keep building them if you've got the people, but it's not as good each one you build. So Coal Thumper is, in my opinion, the best way of getting more coal. There are coal mines, but I'm not as big of a fan. So these hubs are built along roadways. So, but they heat an entire zone. They cost 3 coal to heat the zone, but they can be a good way of heating a large area if you've got a lot of buildings there, particularly if all those buildings are running the same shift. I was hoping I could get both of them. If I built a road here, no. So that tech building, given that, let's not build it. So if it hasn't been completed being built yet, you can scrap it to get all of the resources back. After it's been built, then when you scrap it, you get less resources back. The way of turning buildings, and I never remember what it is. Ah, there we go. So let's go with that instead. So then our hub will heat all of these buildings.
End of shift. Go rest all who can.
All right, we've made it to the sturdy shelter. The shelter is well supplied and built to withstand even the worst weather. An advanced steam heating system protects it from the cold. This shelter is comfortable and well equipped with Emergency supplies. There's a notice posted by the heavy round door. To all scientists, if you use any supplies, remember to notify the quartermaster upon your return to the city. This means that there's another city out there. A signpost by the trail points in 2 directions. London, 1,934 miles. Home, 27 miles. And that will show us to the steel bridge. So we'll take all these resources, including a steam core, and let's move on to the steel bridge. The trail goes over an elegant steel bridge that crosses a huge ravine. The bridge is remarkably snow-free. Then we will head back in. We have no food. Awesome. Hopefully our hunters are going to get back soon with food. Stop dying. Lack of treatment. Cool. Probably not actually going to win this one. Okay, we have made it to the bridge. A brass plaque on the bridge tower reads, "Built by the people of Winterholm in 1887. The bridge is kept completely snow-free by a working automaton." We stopped at the edge of a deep, wide ravine, marveling at the steel bridge spanning it, even more so at the huge automaton sweeping snow from the roadway. It would be possible to send the machine back to our city or disassemble it for resources. If we send it, we get this automaton to work for us, or we can dismantle it to get 2 more steam cores and 87 steel. I'm going to grab it because the automaton is super useful this early on, but I know later on we can build automatons and it only costs a single steam core, so if I dismantle it, I could turn 1 automaton now into 2 automaton later. But at the moment, I'm going to send it to the city. We reprogrammed the automaton and sent it on its way. As it disappeared in the distance, walking steadily towards our city, the first wisps of snow started to settle on the bridge. Let's see. Large convoy or weather station? Let's go with the weather station. Research-wise, what are you guys working on? Ah, yes, the coal thumper. Finding a bridge to Winterholm proved that we're on the right track, but raised questions. Why was the bridge deserted? Why wasn't the automaton under the care of an engineer? There are logical explanations to it all, but people are growing anxious. We'll find out in Winterholm. Hope will fall slightly.
Get to work. Move, people.
Let's get more engineers researching, and I'm gonna have you guys work 24 hours. And yes, discontent rise. Alright, we've got some food in, finally. Probably still not enough. More people dying from lack of treatment. We've now got our coal thumper. Do we have enough? Yes, so let's now research our drawing boards, and we need to begin working on getting coal. So I like to go with a system where we put our coal thumpers kind of back to back. Let's see, so that is the right radius. So we'll go here. So the goal of what this will look like when I'm got it all set up, sorry for jogging the camera around too much, is I'll have 2 coal thumpers here, putting coal in the center, and then gathering posts to then grab that coal, because the coal thumpers just put it into a pile. So this method, as opposed to using a oh, we do have a bunch of coal there that I forgot to grab. Rather than using a coal mine, requires a lot more labor, but it produces significantly more coal. And as labor isn't particularly an issue, That's the route I'm gonna go. We can sign a new law. I'm gonna go with radical treatment. That gives us some means of dealing with all of these gravely ill and hopefully getting them out of being gravely ill quickly.
Listen, everyone. New law is signed.
Resource shortage. We're getting short on resources. Our needs are great and growing by the hour. To address this, we can enact a law that allows us to extend working hours. I really should do that one. Obviously, I can't right now because I just passed a law, but that would be a good one to grab. Our scouts just reached the weather station, so there's nobody in the weather station, but everything still seems to be operational. We could try to find out what the scientists from Winterhome were working on. We found scientists' notes. They predict that the Great Cold is going to get much worse. What's more troubling is that the observations ended abruptly months ago. There's also not a can of Spam, not even a crumb of bread left in the pantry. It's obvious they've moved out for good. We can see the city of Winterhome from the roof of the weather station. Let's take the resources. We will get some coal and we'll get the steam core. And then I'm not going to go to Winterhome just yet. Let's go to the coal mine first. Abandoned station. The recent report from the weather station has got people talking. They're frightened that such an important facility was apparently abandoned. Some are starting to wonder whether the evacuation from London was a good idea. A few are lamenting openly. I knew we shouldn't have come. At least London had real houses, not tents and wooden shacks. We'll have our answers soon enough. Okay, let's are people still... Oh, I still have people just directly... No. Those are hunters moving through. I was gonna say, do I still have people directly gathering from that? Okay, drawing boards have now been researched, so now we can go to the next tier level. So, if we look at the coal thumper, it produces 486 coal per day. The coal mine only extracts 204, but it takes 10 people rather than all the people this is going to take, but it also requires a steam core, so that's why I usually go with the coal thumper. Medical post upgrade. Let's get people healed quicker. I need more workers. Where do we have workers that could be children? Let's see. You are a worker. Make you a child. Those have to be engineers. Those all have to be engineers. I think that's it. Ugh. We just not have enough workers? I can get one worker working there. I could turn down food, but that seems like a bad call. But I really need coal. Otherwise, things are going to go bad fast. Oh, I have some engineers as well. Okay, and let's put children in the gathering huts. Okay, it has gotten even colder. I'm definitely not keeping up with the resource and research rates that I need. You go 24 hours now. Okay, our scouts have made it to the coal mine. We will explore that. This coal mine was in operation until very recently. The machinery isn't running now, but there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. Perhaps the mine simply extracted its quota or filled the loading bay. We could retrieve plenty of raw materials if we took the machinery apart. So I can grab the 262 coal, or I can grab the 262 coal, 206 wood, 202 steel, and 2 steam cores. But if I leave it intact, I could potentially create an outpost there later, and that is what I'm going to do. So we will take the stored coal, and then head to the large convoy. Still ignoring Winterholm. So, we can see that our coal thumper is now moving, producing coal, and our gatherers will be... Whoa, don't zoom out that far. Our gatherers will now be gathering that up, so hopefully we can get a bit more coal and not be as desperate there. If I had more people, more scouts would be nice. Generator range, I think. It's going to cost more fuel, more coal to burn at a larger range, but it will keep our people healthier longer, or a larger area of people that we can maintain. New book of laws, I am going to go with the extended shift. Makes people unhappy, but I can then force critical locations to work longer shifts. And by critical locations, I mean basically everywhere. I think medical posts are already 24 hours. Yeah. We got our first amputation, which we knew would happen since we allowed the riskier treatment, but hopefully more people are going to get healed quicker. So we can't sign a law yet. There's this care house law that comes from radical treatment that eventually leads to prosthetics, which we'll get there eventually, unless I lose too quickly. Okay, we now have our generator range upgrade. Let's go with generator power, probably. And our automaton has finally made it. Okay, so an automaton can take over the workforce of an entire building by itself. So I can put the automaton here, and then no one else has to work here. And I can instead put those people to gathering or whatever. The unfortunate thing is automatons don't work as efficiently. I think they do like 70% the work or something. So there is a downside, but they work 24 hours a day and don't care about heat. Reverse automaton is operational. This will help our economy greatly. Automatons can replace entire manual labor crews. They work around the clock with short breaks to refuel at the generator. We can research upgrades to raise their efficiency and capability. Those will take quite a bit longer to get to. I heard it can replace an entire team of workers. Yes, that is the point, because I don't have enough workers. So it's now going to be hooked up to this facility. You can see it's just sort of like attached itself to it, and it'll be running it by itself all day long. We can now sign another new law. Overcrowding. Extra rations I prefer because it's a button you can push to just speed up healing, but we don't have enough posts. We need overcrowding. It allows us to fit twice as many people into a single medical facility, but it raises discontent.
New law in the city.
But now our 2 medical posts are holding 20 people. Generator power has gone up. Cool. I think... Oh, we need steel. I have no means of getting steel at this point. Steel's not critical early game, but I think we're at the point where I need to start thinking about it. A frightened patient. One of our people is facing death, but he's still refusing amputation. He keeps screaming that he doesn't want anyone to touch his leg, and he won't change his mind, even though gangrene will kill him in a matter of hours. I can cut off his leg anyway, leaving him an amputee, or let him be and he'll die. I am going to cut off his leg, because I can't keep losing people. How cold is it in here? Let's raise the temperature. Let's see, our scouts have reached a large colony. This is a convoy carrying workers that got lost in the blizzard. They are weak and have no provisions. We should listen to their story and escort them to our city. The workers who were riding in this convoy told us they were heading for the city of Winterhome. We were supposed to follow the signal from the beacon, but we couldn't pick it up, they say. We tried to follow a search pattern to find it, but we ran out of fuel. So, same thing as before, we can leave them to their fate, send them on their way to our city, but they'll likely die, or in this case, we're going to escort them. So that way, as many of them will be alive, because we can use the people. Okay, a steelworks. Those also have specific locations they can be built. So let's start with one. Hopefully get it building quickly enough. Is there any research I can do at the moment? I'm assuming not. Oh, more scouts. That's something I will want. Okay, I need people working to get steel immediately. But I don't have any jobs I can take people off of, really. Let's reduce our food for the moment. And you've got to be working a long shift.
Move! Time to get to work.
We only have 3 hours of coal left. But luckily these people are showing up with a bunch of coal and a bunch of people. There we go. So that'll keep our coal going for a little bit longer. Let's put workers in there. Yeah, that should keep us going for a little bit longer. Gloomy Cave. Gloomy Cave is one with a risk of death for your people, which is why I don't do it immediately when I don't have very many people to risk. But there we go. 25 steel. Let's hold off to get that. Unless there's another research that I can get that's just wood. And there is not. So yeah, we will hold off to get some steel. Let's see, I have 29 people who aren't working. 10 workers and 19 engineers. Really? Oh, and a ton of homeless. Let's see, I'm gonna need even more food with all those people who just came in. Yeah, and I don't know. Might be nice to get another research so we can start getting farther ahead. Or less far behind. Triage. It's a button you can click that just instantly heals half the patients, but a quarter of the patients will die instantly. It causes hope to fall and discontent to rise, obviously. Care House is much better because it's taking all the people who are amputated or gravely ill that we can't treat in our current medical posts and just shoves them somewhere else where they eat half as much food. So we'll go with the Care House. Then I have to actually build one. So I guess we'll just squeeze you in here. I need another gathering post, clearly. Nope, that's still waiting on steel. Oh, that'll be fine. Our Care House promise was fulfilled. Hope rose. That is great. What did you die? An amputee's suicide. The man whose leg you ordered amputated has committed suicide. He left a note. I can't live like this, unable to work and without purpose. I don't want to be a burden. I'm just another mouth to feed. We did what we could. Discontent will rise and hope will fall, or we must do something about it. Sign the prosthetics law within 5 days. We're running out of laws to sign, so I think I can squeeze in the prosthetics law anyway. And we're still waiting on steel. You guys need to work a 24-hour shift. Oh, we just ran out of coal. That is not awesome. And you guys need to get to work. Okay, generator is shutting down. It takes a moment to shut down. We have some coal, so let's turn it back on.
Work shift starts.
And temperatures. We do not need it to be that hot. Oh, it's still thinking it's steam level 2. So when it drops down, then we'll get to see what the actual temperature is. Our scouts reached the gloomy cave. So, cave is or was inhabited. There are a number of footprints leading to its entrance. We should check if there's still someone alive up there. We can hear terrified shrieks coming from the cave uphill. When we come closer, several polar bears turn towards us, blocking the entrance. There are people trapped inside, and those beasts are picking them off one by one and feasting on them. So we can leave the bears alone, and then all those survivors that are there will die. Or we can risk attacking the bears. People in the cave will live, but the scouts and the scouts will escort them to the city if they survive, but there's a chance that our scouts will die. Pseudonym. You said you were going to say that. What were you referring to? We're going to risk attacking the bears. We had to help the survivors. When our scouts attacked the bears, the people in the cave joined them, and together we drove the beasts away. Then they all set out towards our city. Oh, not enough housing? Yeah. It's a thing I regularly forget. Like, we're about to get another influx, and luckily our scouts survived. We don't need extra deaths at this point.